The Grizzly Creek Fire started August 10th along I-70 in Glenwood Canyon. It quickly spread into drainages and up hills into high country as well. Sections of the landscape were blackened or turned into ash. And after the fire, that leaves a new set of challenges for the people who manage the White River National Forest.
The larger the area of a watershed that's burned, and the higher the severity of that burn, the bigger the watershed response, whether that means a high flood flow or even debris flows.
Enter the people from the team called BAER, Burned Area Emergency Response.
The BAER team's job on the fire is to engage in a rapid assessment of the burned area to identify unacceptable risks to critical values on National Forest System land.
So this is important from the Forest Service. So a lot of the infrastructure that we have on forests, like campgrounds, roads and trails, archaeology sites, different things like that, in this post-fire environment, those can be affected by post-fire debris. So we're out here assessing the landscape and where those values are on the landscape from the Forest Service perspective that we want to help maintain. So next spring, when the heavy rains or monsoons start coming, we want to be able to protect that infrastructure on the landscape from debris flow. So what would that look like? If a road's unraveling because of the fire and we're going to get a lot of sediment down it, we want to make sure that the culverts are upsized so that they don't get plugged. We want to make sure that the drainage is well on the trails so they don't get plugged. Making sure that if there's a trailhead or something like that, if we're expecting kind of some sediment debris coming in, is there a way we can kind of make sure that we don't impact that structure?
1 week into the fire, the BAER team created what's called a soil burn severity map using satellite imagery. Dark green means unburned or very low burn severity. Light green is low severity. Yellow is moderate, and red is high burn severity.
There's 2 little pixels of high severity right here too. Do you see that? See.
They're rocks.
Check that out.
Boulders.
So now, in small groups, BAER scientists are out surveying the fire area, making sure the data in the satellite mapping reflects what actually happened on the ground.
The satellite and remote sensing products are great, but it's hard to really understand the potential of watershed response and what might occur in the years following the fire without actually getting out on the ground and evaluating conditions in person, up close.
More very low severity. I mean, it's in pockets of moderate, but this is showing moderate with a couple pockets of high.
Yeah, I think it's just picking up a lot of the rock faces.
Yep.
And the shrubbery, like you were saying, but if you look, it still have overstory.
Yeah.
Up that entire drainage you have. The collaborative approach of validating the soil burn severity is kind of what we're doing here, is hiking up to the first chunk of moderate burn severity within the drainage of Dead Horse and get a good visual of how it burned and coming to an agreement that it's moderate, low to moderate, probably lean on the low side, just with what we're seeing here. So a lot of times in these steep rocky canyons, the bark is picking up a lot of the exposed rock faces and stuff too. So that is another thing we're noting here.
The charge is to get out and be done with our assessment in under 2 weeks. So this team of scientists, and it ranges from hydrologists to soil scientists to archaeologists, heritage specialists, botanists, range specialists, engineers, are all trying to get things evaluated as quickly as they can in order to make recommendations for potential steps to be taken to reduce risk to these critical values and to turn those requests around into funding and hopefully implementation before winter hits. That provides us the best opportunity to reduce the risk to critical values that's identified by the BAER team.
It's an awesome job, and really enjoy being out here and looking at the different watersheds and seeing where we might have problems and where things look really good.
And you guys may be able to do some good, I take it, or?
Hopefully we can help narrow down the concern areas and help plan for next year's runoff and any thunderstorms we might get for the remainder of the water year here.
So the BAER team certainly is aware of the importance of this area, not just to the local folks, but also really to the entire state of Colorado and beyond. The Colorado River, Glenwood Canyon, Hanging Lake, these are some of the crown jewels of the National Forest System and the state of Colorado. And you know, a lot of the members of the BAER team are from around here and understand that innately, but all the rest of us that have come here, it didn't take long to get a sense of how important a lot of the areas and features of this burned area are to so many people. Understanding that really helps the BAER team to focus in on what's important and do our best to see what we can do to mitigate risk in these areas. Right now the crews are wrapping up their field assessment. They'll be doing analysis, modeling, writing their reports, and presenting their findings to not just the National Forest leadership here on the White River National Forest, but also to our cooperating and partner agencies who also find value in the information that the BAER team produces.
So that's a brief look at BAER. Scientists using boots on the ground, satellite data, and a team approach to help manage the environmental challenges that lie ahead following the Grizzly Creek Fire.